following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Of course! Of course!
Ah, Logan. Oh. How can I help you?
Wish to discuss the, if you have time, the Volus Palladium Mine pirate fiasco.
Ah, yes, I'm going over that right at this moment. Terrible business, that. Your group captured them, I believe.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about the individuals? Do you know much about them? The only thing I know is that they appear to be Quarian terrorists who were not part of the fleet.
Right. They are absolutely not officially sanctioned by any shadowy splinter group within the fleet, the existence of which is probably not known, even to their highest ranked members. That is not the case at all.
Presses something on the bottom of his desk. Okay, we're not being monitored if there's anything you want to say.
We agreed to keep that bit hush-hush, but I can't lie to you. The individual members were, I believe, deluded into believing they were doing a good thing. Some of them do not wish to be taken out of their punishment. Others do. Those ones that do will go right back to doing this. How do I know this?
Are you saying that there are individuals in this group that want to accept the fate of being captured?
I have proof.
So you got the little hologram of Fuba just talking.
Right off Zalo's cam.
Yeah.
We'll let the whole thing play.
And you can see Fuba, Fuba standing there. It's just like a little popping out off the top. Hello, who's? Somebody finally answered. I assume these are the people that captured us. I can't see you. I understand you've probably turned off the camera.
Yes, I have. How are you making this call?
I have. It's going over the extranet, and I have a link to Genoma still.
Interesting. I'll look for that.
Well, you can remove it if you like. I thought I'd send you a message.
What about? I don't imagine you'll be getting out anytime soon.
Matojima's father is part of the Admiralty Board. He's trying to get us off. He might be able to do it. It was in Terminus space, not Citadel space. It might be enough to get us off. He might be pulling some strings. But Mato refuses to go. She feels that we have to face justice and wants to stay in prison.
And do you feel the same? Otherwise you wouldn't be making this call. Why would you want to warn us?
I just thought you'd want to know. We're on Irune in prison at the moment. That's the Volham world.
And does Mato still have a link to her father? A
Yes,
communication
apparently.
link?
Well, I don't think she has a direct link. We were all given at least one call each.
In that case,
I'm using mine to contact you through Noma.
Well, if you could pass on a message for me. We kept things quiet about the true origins of your team. Maybe we won't do that if they try to get you out. I know what Pathrazer is capable of.
There's 2 more teams out there, just so you know.
Thanks.
Mato refuses to leave, like I said.
If her father manages to pull off whatever it is they're trying, he might not have a choice.
I don't know what he'll do, but he's part of the Admiralty Board and he's basically a Quarian lawyer shyster from what I can get. Mato has a strange sense of justice despite what we do, and so she refuses to. She wants to stand trial, and I don't know if she's already going to dob the rest of us in.
If the Admiralty Board gets its way and you're free, make sure Marto doesn't do anything drastic. I'm giving you an extranet address, my sus one. If the Admiralty Board gets its way, contact me, or get Marto too.
Marto wants all of us to just take the punishment.
I do too.
I'm the only one who kind of agrees with her. The rest of what would prefer to be free. She usually has a way of swaying them, but she's for some reason not getting to them on this. I guess I understand they don't want to be imprisoned. I mean, it looks like it's going to be life.
It should be.
But then again, she says, is it really that different if we go back to the fleet?
Well, thanks for getting in contact with me. If it plays out, please pass on my message, and of course, the one for the Admiralty Board.
Of course. I think I'm going to stick by Marto. Even if the others get off, I'm going to.
Then the same for you. If the board pulls their weight and you don't have a choice, contact that address.
Marto's threatened to just tell the Turians, and she
Without-
also doesn't want to turn on the others.
Unless she had the forethought to harvest records beforehand, then there's no proof, and it won't fly. But pass on my message, and there's no forgiveness for what we've done. Hang up.
Interesting. Daughter of one of the Admiralty Board, you say? Well, that says. You don't say anything, it's all off the record.
I mean, it's not like I can say I was never here. I told General Callanus I wanted to speak with you, and he told me where to find you.
Yes. I'm glad you came. Especially with additional information like that.
Well, my group contains a member that used to work for this same splinter faction. He was under the illusion when he was there that they were attacking pirates and other people who had harmed the fleet. When he learned what they were really doing, he ran away. They're trying to kill him. But they can't get to him because he's with me.
Interesting.
He's the one who allowed us to learn all of their tricks and track them down. He's the one who was able to disarm their traps because he knew where they were and what they would be. They placed detonation charges all over that camp and facility, so any investigators that came along would die in a pyroclastic explosion
And
that would
destroy
hide
any
all
remaining
evidence.
Yes.
But my crew member knew that trick and disarmed those traps, and we were able to save what was left and recovered their ship and the Palladium and capture all but one of them, who made a very, very stupid decision to try and push a matter with my human crew member. We also have reason to believe that the Vols might be able to be convinced into letting them off. The fleet doesn't have money, but the think tank that I operate within my group came to the conclusion that there might be a possibility that the Quarian might release some data relating to the construction of the Geth AI. You know how much the Vols would benefit and take advantage of that, particularly within their own internal financial structures.
They're always
So,
looking for a means.
That's
of-
why I came, because there's a non-zero chance that they get out.
They're always looking for a means to increase their profits.
Can't blame them, but
And they came up with the whole Citadel banking system, for crying out loud.
and for that I thank them. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything I can do to help, but if there is,
Curious about these ones who want to.
perhaps speaking to them might be an option. I'm sure you
wonder
know
if I
someone
can
with
get
enough
in
clout.
contact with particularly this one and the one she mentions.
I believe that one's name is Fuba.
Yes, he mentions a Mato, the one who's the daughter of the admiral.
Well, maybe you know someone with enough authority to be able to get you to speak to them.
Well, I am the one dealing with this
It would seem
case.
to me that
Perhaps I should book a trip to Arun and deal with these matters personally.
take extra security.
I mean, she mentions 2 other sects of this Pathracer.
We're trying to track him down.
Perhaps I can get more info out of either her or this Mato. Perhaps I can convince her to... I don't know. Would you object? The plan is forming, but I don't know if it would work. You might know them better than me, or your associate might know them better than me. But if I'm reading this Fuba right and what she says about her friend who refuses to kowtow to her father's wishes,
Brave.
perhaps I could convince her to... She would have to keep up the antagonism first, but perhaps I could convince her to step down and relent to her father's wishes, but then we might be able to use her as a means of getting the
We
other
had
2.
come to the same idea.
Ah,
But of course, I'm just an independent private military contractor with no ties whatsoever to any military organization.
which is perfect. So perhaps I could... Your friend can still get in contact with this Fuba, this one on the hologram.
Unfortunately, he can't. They were allowed 1 call.
But if she were to be freed,
Yes.
she could get in contact with them again somehow.
Frankly, I did have a small plan that if everything went absolutely pear-shaped and the Vols gave in completely, that I was going to offer her and her friend a job. Well, I'm going to be buying a frigate soon, and I need staff. And their desire to serve a sentence could be parlayed into doing some actual good.
Interesting.
And frankly, if they're willing to be your cat's paw into uncovering more about this group, then I'm willing to offer them a job at the other end.
They might still want that job anyway. If they make an enemy out of it, depends how
Frankly, their
this plays
desire
out.
to serve punishment for their sentence impresses me.
If they're willing to sell out their own and make enemies out of their own fleet, and be, well, either exiled or worse.
From what my crewmate tells me, it's not their fleet they'll be making enemies of, but a small, unknown, powerful faction operating without their knowledge on the inside.
Yes, but it's tied to an admiral on the fleet. If he knows about this and is supporting it in any way.
Well, admirals are just like everyone else. Mortal.
That is true.
Especially
And if
bargains.
his own fellow admirals on the board don't agree with his methods, he will be ousted quickly and shamed.
The problem is, my crewmate implies that they are a very secretive, unknown, undocumented group. That he believes that there is at least one member of the Admiralty Board who does know. And it might not be this guy. He could simply be trying to bail out his daughter. We have not enough information, and the fleet is very hard to get information from.
That's why
We have one
talk to
operative on the inside,
I would like to
but
talk to this Mato in person.
I recommend it. And if there's anything I can do, General Callanus has my number.
I'm going to encourage her and the one named Fuba in the transmission to, again, I'm going to have to convince her to put up a fight for a bit longer but then cave to her father's demands. Then I will get them to, I guess they will have to keep the secret from their own fellow members who want to continue doing what they're doing, but if these two who have decided to play ball can get in contact with your
I will instruct my
friend
crewmate
again,
to leave that channel of communication open.
then
Actually-
I will tell you what I learned from this motto, and then she can also liaise. They can liaise with your colleague.
I will tell you, General, that we've made one of our operational standing operational orders to try and take this group down if we can. But we're just 5 people. There's a limit to what we can do. But if you do run this operation, we would like to be involved in any way we can.
Well,
Whether it's strategic targeted strikes or...
I'm hoping the other two will be able to feed you some information, perhaps even set up the others for traps.
Oh, I like traps.
So I'm hoping they will liaise with you, and then that way the Turian military isn't muddying our hands with this personal matter to do with the fleet.
Hmm. And the Quarians get to keep their noses clean, since most of them do not condone these actions.
Yes, at worst, 1 or maybe 2 admirals who are behind this will rightfully get ousted from their positions for supporting a terrorist faction.
Hmm.
The only thing I'm concerned about is, and this may seem a weird thing to be concerned about with all this, but the Volus potentially getting AI information is actually one of my biggest concerns. If these young Quarians do end up kowtowing to their father's wishes and get off, the price may still be to give the Volus.
If only there was some way we could figure out what was on the table.
I'll see what I can find out when I go there. But I imagine they're not going to want a Turian general to be finding out anything related to AI.
Have we no... No, that's an inappropriate question to ask. I won't.
It's off the record.
Well, we don't have one Vol. Not one Vol on the entire planet that works for us.
We do, but
I wonder
finding a Vol that would...
I wonder if we could find some money elsewhere to pay their fines that could look like it comes from the Quarian fleet. Perhaps some kind of Solarian programmer would be able to. Well, I'm sure the pros will investigate all this kind of things. I should probably get going before I'm missed back on the Citadel.
Of course, thank you for bringing this to my attention. It is a very muddy issue, but maybe we can at least clear it up and find a little more justice in the long run.
Well, let's hope.
Unfortunately, none of it will bring back any of the Vols who lost their lives, or any other who lost their lives on their prior operations. But if we can nip this in the bud in the next month or two, and get rid of all those other factions of this group, that's at least something.
You know what gets me most? It's the way they did it. Send in a group pretending to be merchants. Wait for a fighter to do a strafing run that distracts everyone, and then just...
Yes, very methodical for a group of young Quarians.
That tells me they were taught how to do it. Means that someone in this group is very, very dangerous. Even if a slight nick can put them in bed for a month.
Probably why they set things up so professionally, well, specifically anyway, so that they can avoid any nicks if possible.
The one thing going in our favor was that when they were on the back foot, their resistance wasn't exactly organized or efficient at all.
Well, they're probably not used to dealing with conflict. They're probably used to setting up a plan and putting that plan through motions. They're young and inexperienced. Beyond that, if
I mean,
things
I
don't
was
go...
young and I still knew to plan for when things went tits up.
Yeah, but did they expect to have Sidewinders coming after them in the middle of nowhere?
No, they thought it was Krogans.
Hmm.
We pretended to be Krogans.
Interesting.
Then they had the gall to send out a distress signal because pirates were attacking their palladium shipment. So I switched over to another channel and pretended to be me. Don't worry, the Sidewinders are coming.
Pretended to be you. There's some interesting now.
You know, you spend enough time working for... You know, you do kind of lose track of what is true. I mean, do I even smoke? I don't know. Or is it just a thing I do? To be in character.
I think I understand. I have heard of such affectations amongst those who commonly have undercover personas. They don't sometimes know who their real self is because they spend more time playing other people.
That's why psychological counseling is so important.
I
Between
heard
missions.
you ditched your counselor.
I wanted to give her the impression that I'm doing that. But I haven't. I've got the finalization thing here and I haven't put it through yet. Also, I'm not between assignments right now. Besides which, I'm entirely sure that was ever necessary for the stated reasons.
Probably not.
Yeah, well, watch,
I am only vaguely familiar with your case.
yeah, we'll watch this space. Anyway, I won't waste any more of your time.
No, it was most informative. I would definitely look into booking passage to Nyrun quickly and meeting with these individuals. Do you want me to mention anything of our discussion, or did you want me to approach them from a purely Tyrian military perspective first before dropping the ball? I'm going to have to tell them eventually if they play ball, of course, to set things up for you, but...
Only that we know that we made an agreement that we would not divulge that.
Well,
But,
that's all off the record,
But
so
my
we have 'em.
but my belief is that by divulging it in the right way, we can help them, and we certainly don't want the galaxy to explode with more anger towards the Quarian people who do not approve of this, which was their objective. I really do believe all they wanted to do was help their people. They just chose a bad way, or were convinced into a bad way of doing it.
Very good. Thank you for that insight.
So,
Back on. It was good talking with you.
yes, indeed. Thank you for your time, General.
Of course. Safe travels.
Indeed. And you too. Right. I will leave.
Go back down the elevator. I think that's only using your fourth.
No, I'm using real me because I'm supposed to be here this
Oh,
time.
good point. That's true. You don't even have to use that anymore. It's on the systems. And
Maybe on the way
this.
down I should just remove it.
That might actually be smart.
I will do that.
Okay. Because then they won't find anything, and that cannot be traced to you if they don't find a damn thing.
Yeah.
You don't even have to roll for that because you set it up.
Cleanly, safely, methodically remove it. Okay, walk past the chicken.
Bye.
Have a good afternoon.
You too. Yeah, no, she doesn't know.
Yeah! I like this. I can still do my job.
You have one fangirl, and one who's just like, I know what you're talking about. It's a nobody.
Big though. Ugly though.
Ugly in a handsome sort of way. Well,
Look at bad boy Logate's insurance.
Handsome in an ugly sort of way.
Yeah. Leave the facility. Get back to the spaceport.
Spaceport?
Trish's. Well,
Send a
Sentinel's-
message. You got to get on with Christian. Send a message to Zardoz. Tell him not to remove that functionality from his ball.
Of course, Loki.
I will explain when I get back.
Trish did not sneeze. That was me.
Well, your program is getting realistic as fuck. Right, I'll head back to the spaceport. I've told Zardoz to abide vicariously, not to other Obrobies. And again, I'll get back to the Sentinel unmolested by everyone. I don't think there's anything I want to do on Palaven.
This is Super Team Control. You have permission to leave.
Thank you, Control.
You are welcome. Thank you for visiting. Have a safe trip.
Maximum speed takeoff. Work that fucking engine.
Gotta put it to space.
Just go like fucking scramble speed
Landing
launch
gear retracted.
up into space. Get back to the Citadel. Hopefully beat Rover there.
I mean, I was going to time it so you're
Okay.
relatively close.
Yeah, okay,
together.
that's cool. I don't need to roll.
But,
yeah.
But no, because you are right. It's like your ship is so much faster, because you got that nat 20 that you didn't have to roll to get back, but it's like she still had to roll to get the other ship back.
Yeah.
And it was going to be like 3 days, so it's like.
Frameshift drive charging.